What's up, family? What's up, family? Happy Friday night. Happy Friday night, man. I got my guy on with me, Smiley Mcginnis. Happy Friday, Smiley. How you doing, man?
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Amazing, man. We got another day to play. We're good, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, you guys. Smiley's been on with me for some weeks now, man. And like I told you guys before, there I go with the Like I told you guys before, we was covering the Life Stoplight Red edition. And this is like one of our last ones. But you know what? The way that this book helps everyone, you guys got to order it. You got to order this book. You guys have to order this book. Man, we need it, man. It's crazy out here. We got a lot of people out here that's confused, a lot of people that need some healing, and a lot of people that need some motivation, man. This is an easy read. It's right there on Amazon. You guys order everything on Amazon. You order everything on this is going to come to your door too. This will come to your door too. So anyway, but we appreciate you guys for coming in. Right now, what's up, Yeti? What's up, Yeti? We got 364 people in right now. So I'm gonna give Smiley the stage a lot tonight because he's gonna take a few weeks off because we got to get this red edition. Now we have the yellow edition. You see behind Smiley's head right there. We have all those books right now for sale online. But I want you to buy all four. At least buy this red one. We need to definitely get this red. So we're going to give you guys time to get it. If you look across the bottom, you'll see Smiley's channels, his YouTube channel, TikTok. He's posting almost daily. This guy, you get to see his face almost daily, and he's giving you some good words, some good encouragement. We need that in these days and time. We need that good encouragement. And this guy here, man, hey, this is one of the strongest men I ever met. This man has been through a lot, and he's still going through stuff, and he's still helping and blessing people. So make sure you guys get out and get this book. We're going to make this a New York Times bestseller. Watch. So tonight, I'm going to give Smiley the stage a whole lot. I got some questions for him, and then I'm going to give him the stage because I need you guys to get familiar with this man. I need you guys to get to know this man because we're going to need him. You're going to need him. We always need that friend we can turn to. We always need that friend we can turn to, and Smiley Mcginnis is that guy, and that's why he's already have 4 books on Amazon right now. How you doing, Smiley?
Ready to get going.
Ready to get going? Okay. All right. I have the first question for you. Why do you believe clarity is so crucial to personal growth? Take the stage.
Whew. Well, clarity creates direction. Without it, you're going to drift. When you have clarity, meaning you know your why, your values, your direction, decision-making stops being random and reactive. You are focused, and you can filter out anything that doesn't really align with your purpose, I guess you could say. And it gives you intentional purpose as well, because your choice you make is measured against the clear vision you have. And without clarity, every option feels equal. You hesitate, you second guess, you chase distractions. With clarity, the noise quiets. You can say yes to those things that matter and align with your purpose, and say no easier to the rest. That's what gives you more power, momentum, and peace of mind. Having clarity.
Sounds good. Anybody have any questions? Let's start getting some questions up while we getting this going. How you like this rain, man?
It's a blessing in the desert.
It just comes down like all at once. Yeah. Arizona, we have these monsoons, and they just come down all at once. And today we got it.
I have a friend, my best friend has lived here for 50 plus years. And I asked him, it looks like a lava lamp. If you watch the radar,
Mm-hmm.
It just shows up and then it's gone.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
just north of 1.7 miles north, they got over an inch of rain. We got a
Wow.
quarter inch down here. So you just never know. I think
You
I got
never know.
more than I did the front, and I don't have that big a house. So
That's right. So if you was to say it, would you keep where would you keep your plants at, in the front or the back?
both by the HOA, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to
Okay.
have so many up front and so many in,
Yeah.
the back.
The
They don't
rain
care
is so
about.
crazy. I know if you get more rain in your backyard or in your
Yeah,
front yard.
I got
Because it splits off really like that. Because I can ask somebody across, I'll be like, "Hey, is it rain?" They'd be like, "No, it's not raining here," but they're a few minutes away, whatever. All right, I got another question for you, Smiley. How does consistency complement clarity?
that's a good question. Clarity gives you the vision, and consistency will make it real. This is where the daily disciplines, the habits, the check ins, what I used to call the checkpoints, benchmarks, and milestones. This is how clarity transforms into lasting change. It's a short answer, but I think it sums it up. Clarity is the vision, and consistency makes it real.
Okay, good, good. So, still on the subject of clarity, what gets in the way of clarity most often?
Most often, clarity is going to be blocked by a lack of ability. Um, Not by a lack of ability, I shouldn't say that way, but by layers of internal and external fogs. The biggest culprits are noise and distractions, constant notifications, media, and endless to-do lists keep you so busy. It's what I call the busyness of life. And then you're unfocused. When you're always reacting, you merely create space to reflect. The second one is fear and doubt, fear of making the wrong choice, of self-doubt about being good enough, clouds decision making. Instead of seeing a clear path, you see endless what if, what if, what if. Let's see, I had some notes here.
Take your time.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but number 3 is limiting beliefs. The stories you carried, like I've never succeeded. That's just not possible for me. Just a couple of limiting beliefs create mental barriers that block you from envisioning new directions. And then overcommitment. When you're saying yes to everything, you dilute your energy. As you saw my energy get zapped when I took on a pilot project at TSA. That was quite
That's right.
interesting. But clarity requires priorities, but busyness hides them under a pile of urgent tasks. What I used to tell people is don't major in the minors.
Right.
Focus on what you want to do. That's your major. Don't minor and just look busy and have that stack of to-dos. Another one is comparison to others. Let's see, looking at what everyone else is doing can distort your sense of self. Instead of asking, what's my path? You end up chasing someone else's by comparing yourself to somebody else. And the last one would be unresolved pain or past failures. If you're still carrying yesterday's baggage, today's vision will always look blurry. Clarity thrives in the stillness, reflection, and honest self-awareness. I have to be honest with yourself in the self-awareness arena. Without clearing the noise and confronting the barriers, it's like trying to drive a car with a dirty windshield. The road is there,
Right.
but you can't see it. So clarity will come once you get rid of those internal and external fogs.
So what would be some examples of like past baggage? Are you talking about like relationships, jobs? What would be some good example of past baggage?
Well, using my personal example, with the trauma that it caused in the accident, that still plays a role today when I drive. I'm
Got
always
you.
thinking. and that's baggage could cloud my mind.
Got you.
A good example is you're driving somewhere, and before you know it, you're there, and you think back, I don't even remember driving here. That's the subconscious working pretty hard there.
That's right.
A good example this morning about the noise and distractions. That's what I was going to say. Trying to make a video, and I don't know how many times the emergency broadcast system has to let me know it's going to rain. But by God, I think 3 or 4 times within 30 minutes, they set those alarms off. When you're trying to record a video, it makes it difficult because you can't mute that. So There's a good example of, how media and endless to-do lists or whatever, the media and the screen time, get away from the screens. So, But without clarity, you're just existing. That's the key. Without clarity, you're just existing. And I've in the Red Book, I talk about live a life of excellence over existence. Don't just exist. Be excellent in what you say and do. Right. That's what matters. You're meant for more than what you're doing.
Right. Okay, good. All right. So in your book, you asked the readers to revisit their written goals. Why is this such a powerful practice to revisit your written goals?
Well, let's put it this way. 3% of the population have written goals that they review. 97% of us work for those 3%. So a lot of people will get goals set for them, or they might be able to do a SMART goal or set their own goals at work. And then you don't revisit it until the next quarter or halfway mid-year or year end, worse yet. So most people will set a goal once and then forget about them. By revisiting written goals, it reconnects you with your purpose, why you wrote it. It reignites your commitment and reveals progress. Best way to put it, it's almost like a ritual of renewal. It just confirms what you want to do. It helps with that clarity and that discipline, that self-awareness of letting all the stuff go, saying yes to the right things that match your purpose and your goals, and no to those that don't, that are going to distract you. So, because most people, again, they set the goals once and they forget about it. But it was Tony Robbins that said 3% of the population has goals. 97% of us work for that 3%. So you tell me if it's powerful, because 93% of the people aren't happy and 7% are. So chances are they have written goals.
Yeah, I have to write them down. If I don't write them down, I'll be all over the place, man. And I write the small ones and I write the big ones. And some might be attainable and some might seem impossible. But, it's some, I do them. Sometimes I get the whole list. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I got to take some over to the next time because I have it dated. I have my goals dated.
And that's where that checkpoint, benchmarks, and milestones. Milestones are you've hit your goal. Mm-hmm. Benchmarks is by this date, by the close of business on Friday, whatever date, I'm going to have this book submitted to Amazon.
That's right.
So, and then the checkpoints are along the way. How am I doing? What am I doing? Hold yourself accountable. Because like we were talking earlier, all kinds of people want to write a book, but they get 1 or 2 chapters into it and their passion isn't there. Writing is not easy. And that's why a writer and an author are different. An author comes with the concept and the writer puts it on paper.
Right.
Myself, I do it all. Author, writer, speaker, promoter. Help now. You're helping me. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. It's an honor to work with you, man. Like you can definitely tell that you definitely practice what you preach, man. And I can tell it in your work ethics. Just being on the management end of you, and just you're calling, Keith, I got this, I got more videos, I got this. I mean, everything's just really efficient, and I can tell that you definitely wrote these books.
Thank you.
Yeah. I got another question for you. What is emotional immaturity, and how does emotional immaturity block growth?
Well, first of all, emotional immaturity is when someone struggles to manage their feelings, thoughts, reactions in a balanced, responsible way. Instead of responding with self-awareness and calmness, they often react impulsively, defensively, or avoid responsibility altogether. I think there's 5 different markers: poor self-regulation, difficulty calming down after you get worked up about something, frequent outbursts, shutting down completely instead of processing emotions, blame shifting. Instead of owning your mistakes, your emotionally immune people or immature people will point the finger to other things. And that's why I always say no more excuses, reasons, answers, or self-justifications, because they always say it's because of this. If you want to see it happen, you're going to make it happen. But instant gratification is another one. Choosing short-term comfort or pleasure over long-term growth and responsibility. A 4th one is avoidance of hard conversations. Struggling to face conflict, criticisms, uncomfortableness. It's just, uncomfortable truths. People don't want the truth a lot of times. You can't handle the truth. That
Right.
movie. Often withdrawing or becoming defensive. And then the 5th one is inconsistent relationships. Swinging between dependency and withdrawal, or expecting others to fix their feelings. At its core, emotional immaturity is a gap between age and awareness. Someone might be older, but they haven't developed the emotional intelligence yet that they're like, empathy and patience and accountability. They remain almost like a child. They're we've said they're immature. Well, this is the immature part you're talking about, because clarity, purpose, and growth all require emotional maturity.
Right.
Because without it, your decisions are driven by impulse rather than thought and intention. If that answers it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So I want to go to I want to ask you about a phrase.
Uh-oh.
You got a lot of phrases, you know that. But I want to ask you about the phrase, no more excuses, answers or reasons. What does it mean to you?
When I wrote it, I basically made it a call to radical responsibility. It means stop explaining away inaction. You didn't do it. Just admit you didn't do it. Don't make excuses. Stop excusing disappointment. Own your growth. Good thing to remember is excuses keep you stuck. Ownership sets you free. I'll say that again. Excuses will keep you stuck, but ownership sets you free. So that's that radical responsibility. It's, people are like, well, that's a little aggressive. Well, no. If you start living by that mantra, tell you what, no more excuses, reasons, answers, or self-justifications.
Right.
You start holding yourself accountable, you won't be stuck anymore. You'll be free with ownership.
So what about the people that can't hold themselves accountable? I mean, what's the best way to get on yourself? That's kind of
that's a good one. Every person is different. A lot of times I talk to a lot of people, and no matter where I'm at the gym or whatever. And if I see people that are coming inconsistently, I'll ask them, hey, have you ever thought about getting an accountability partner to help hold you accountable? And, or I usually say, I need help holding myself accountable to make sure I come here, 4 days a week.
Right.
Can you be that person? And that's kind of a step in to help with that, I guess you could say.
Okay.
That was a tough, question. I mean, it all comes down to self-discipline.
That's right. You versus you.
Don't take the self out. Keep that in there, because that's ownership.
That's right. You versus you. I want to go with fulfillment. And what roles does contribution play in fulfillment? I'm gonna give you the stage on this one.
Well, contribution is one of the deepest drivers of fulfillment, because it shifts life from being about what you get to what you give. And Joe Polish has a book out there called Life Gives to the Giver. It's an incredible book about how you need to give back to feel fulfilled. Again, like everything, there's 4 things here. Meaning beyond self. When you contribute, whether time, talent, or treasures, you connect with something larger than yourself. That sense of impact creates purpose that achievement alone can't match. And in the Red Book, I talk about, I want to start a mission on, having 1 million people help me push forward on limiting beliefs and how to help people. And that's, beyond myself. It could be decades. It could be, lifetimes away. 7 generations from now, how are people going to remember me? Are they going to remember me by the limiting beliefs or what? Number 2 is lasting satisfaction. Pleasure will fade, but contribution will leave a legacy. Your knowledge that your actions made someone else's life better builds a fulfillment that doesn't wear off. It always, it feels so good to help others. And that's one of the reasons I volunteer with the local police department or sheriff's office or wherever I'm at. Here it's with the Surprise Police, because I like helping people. And when they, we do traffic and we give rides to people in accidents that don't have a ride home or whatever, we're there to help. And that makes me feel good. I almost feel guilty. I almost feel guilty, like, it's kind of in for myself, but I'm really not. I'm there to help them.
That's right.
Third one is identity and growth. Contribution shapes who you are. It affirms your values and it pushes you to grow, because giving often requires sacrifice, creativity, and courage. And so, and the last one is connection and belonging. Fulfillment is rarely found in isolation. Contribution links you to others, family, community, even strangers, in a way that says, I matter, my life makes a difference. And when I worked with the national nonprofit, I used to tell people that I'm not looking today, I'm looking generations from now. I'm looking, when these kids would get older, if they're going to look back and I made a difference in their life because I offered the program or I saved the program by getting the proper funds for it. But in short, fulfillment is found by piling. It's not found, and this where it reminds me of you, Keith, sorry. But in short, fulfillment isn't found by piling up the medals or the trophies, or chasing comfort. It's found when your life lights the ways for others. That's so important. And you are always talk about no one loves you more than you love yourself.
That's right.
And you walk, you talk, you're saying your prayers, you're doing that stuff. And, contribution is the bridge between living for yourself and living with significance.
That's right.
And so again, I don't see you chasing as a professional boxing coach and you got your colleagues are probably on here with you. I don't see you chasing trophies and medals and ribbons and whatever else.
Definitely.
You're making the difference in people's life. You're
That's
helping them. And that's what's really cool. And that's what another reason I respect you, Keith.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. We got 1,166 people in here. So you got your red edition. Let's hold up their red edition.
I just happen to have one.
This is the book, people. We got 1,166 people here. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming to the channel. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I got Smiley Mcginnis in here, writer. I'm sure you've been seeing it on the Instagram and stuff. We've been putting him on the stories. The link is in there. We need you guys to buy this book because we're trying to help you, but we can't talk to 1 million people, but we can reach 1 million people with these books. And then hopefully once you buy the book, you can get someone else to buy it too. When you do buy the book, if you tag us in, we'll definitely repost you on our story, because we really appreciate you guys. So
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. So let's talk about chapter 10. It offers a lot of challenges and exercises. And I just wanted to ask you, why so many, man? Why so many challenges and exercises?
Because I like to talk a lot. No, I'm kidding. Because knowledge without action is what I call shelf knowledge. To know and not do is shelf knowledge. How many times have you bought a book, but you've never read it, but it sure looks good on your bookshelf? You got to apply that stuff. Real growth happens in doing. Reflect, write, share, live it. The challenges build emotional, spiritual, and practical muscles. And that's the reason I wrote it. And I sent you a piece earlier today why people, I pulled together what people have written and said, why they bought the red edition. And it's interesting to see that they actually read it and what it meant to them and how important it was. In fact, one person said it solved a pain point for them. Another one said it's relatable and real. The traffic light metaphor is memorable. It's easy to remember life stoplights, red, yellow, green. Every stoplight's the same across the world. It offers hope and direction. It's part of a bigger journey. It inspires action, not just thought. Your story adds credibility because I'm honest and genuine. I wrote it. There's a lot of research put into it. There's no page numbers because I want you focused on the content. And it's a conversation. If you read the book, so many people said it's like having a conversation with a friend I never met. And that really, made me say, wow, that's powerful, because I didn't realize it. Because when I was writing it, I'd be like anticipating how my mind would be thinking. And so, it's kind of off the charts a little bit with your question, but
you're good.
The challenge is, again, build that emotional, spiritual, and practical muscle. And to, if you're going to buy the book, please read it, because what you see here, we've done in 5 weeks is just barely scratching the surface. And then when I wrap things up, I'm going to read just a paragraph to you and just show you how powerful some of this can be. And we can't capture it, this way. When you read it, you're going to internalize it and you're going to grow. I guarantee it. You're going to learn the system, and it's going to make a big difference in your life. You've read it a couple times, Keith, and
definitely. I have to come up with these questions. Smiley, why is it priced so reasonable?
Well, because I went round and round with the algorithm at Amazon, and with the information in here, all the psychology and everything else, they're recommending $29.95. And I said $7. And we went back and forth and finally settled at 12 right now, I think it is. And I'm trying to work with them, and I'm hoping to maybe do a book promotion for 2 weeks and to see what we can do and see, push everybody to buy the book those 2 weeks to help, drive up sales and everything else. But I'm not out to make money. I'm out to help people. And I keep telling people I'm blessed to have what I have, but I want to help people. And that's price it so it's affordable to everyone. Anyone that's ever said, they can't afford it, I've given away a lot of copies, and because I want people to grow. So the problem is I've given a lot away, but none of them have come back for an autograph, meaning they didn't read the book. So that hurts, but that's happened.
Well, okay. So, I want to talk about classroom silence.
Classroom silence.
What does the classroom of silence refer to, and how can somebody use it? The classroom of silence.
The classroom of silence is a concept, and I think Matthew Kelly is the one where I kind of learned and then read up on it. But it's a concept that describes deliberately creating space for stillness, reflection, inner listening, and treating quiet time as a teacher rather than an empty pause. The power you can, and we've talked about it through meditation and visualization exercises, but instead of rushing from noise to noise, you step into silence with intention of learning from it. How you can use it: start small. Take 5 minutes, and 5 minutes a day without music, screens, or conversations. Sit quietly and notice your breathing. Notice your thoughts, or a single guiding word that'll come to you. And then number 2 is ask questions in the silence. bring a challenge or something that's bothering you to that classroom of silence, and you bring that into that quiet space. Don't rush for answers. Just let insights emerge. They will come to you, I promise you, because you're
Right.
tapping into that infinite mind we talked about 3 weeks ago. And then number 3, journal afterwards. You want to write down what came to you, what you visualized. It's almost like being a monk, and you visualize whatever. Capture what surfaced in the silence, I guess you could say. Often the wisdom appears when you give it space to be written down. Because a lot of times when I'm sitting in a classroom of silence, my mind moves so quickly. A lot of times I'll just have a pen and I don't look at the paper. I just write, and I can see the paper in my mind, and I just write down stuff. And then I get done. I'm like, wow, that was a good session. Obviously, I go longer than 5 minutes now. I think I'm up to a 7 after 10 years.
Definitely.
I'm kidding. There's a squirrel. But and then the last one is turn silence into practice. Use it before big decisions. If you're going in for a big interview, you're going in for a big fight, if Eli's out there, sit in that classroom of silence. It's good to sit there and visualize what you need to do. After stressful moments, after trauma, if you lose somebody, you're in a car accident or whatever, sit in that silence, and it helps you reset daily as well. Because over time, the classroom of silence becomes a trusted guide almost, because that's God talking to you in a way, or the universe, however you want to see it. I don't want to, put anybody out, but in a world full of noise,
that's right.
Silence becomes such a rare teacher nowadays. It helps you filter out what matters, what really matters, and what is your purpose. I mean, does it align with it? And it'll help you, because I've asked people to, help with a position with a national nonprofit, and they're like, well, let me think about it, or let me pray about it. The person that says, let me pray about it, I know I have them, because it was a worthy organization.
Right.
Those people that let me think about it, I'm on to the next person. So, it realigns you with your purpose again, and you'll act with more focus and intention, like we talked about earlier. When you have that focus and intention, it's easier to say yes to the things that matter to you, because it came to you in your classroom of silence, and no to those things that are just going to make life, the busyness of life, where you're busy, you're running, but whatever. I consider myself rather busy. I'm very active. I mentioned I volunteer at the police department. I also sing in a barbershop chorus. I do woodworking, and then I do this full-time job called writer, speaker, author.
Right.
And so I'm busy, but it's with what I love to do.
Right.
And so it's not just busyness. I don't dread any one of those.
Right.
It's refreshing.
So would it be safe to say, when you do things that you like to do, so what you're telling me, you have a purpose. So if your purpose consists of things you like to do, does that take the chitter chatter out of your head, where you can do this, where you can be silent? Because some people can't stop. Some people can't, when I'm teaching people how to meditate a lot, sometimes, of course we know it has to do with breathing. So some people can't even go, 10 seconds far as the exhale, So does this purpose and doing the things that you like to do, does that comfort you more so you can have that quiet time?
Absolutely. Because, it's a joke with my family and my wife and I, especially, where I'll just run to the office into my study for something. And then hour and a half later, I'll come back out and say, oh, did you eat already? Where'd it go?
Yeah.
That's passion.
Right.
Because I love what I do. I come in here for something quick, and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. I got to write it down. I've got, notes. I write, while I'm at the gym, I'll come up with stuff, and I'll giggle, and then I'll quick type it in notes. I have to stop what I'm doing usually, because I'm not coordinated enough to do the Cybex machine and type. So
that's
I try and dictate, and then people are talking and whatever. But again, it starts small, and just, you'll get there. Trust me, I'm probably one of the highest strung people you'll meet, but the difference between when I first started seeing the guy at the VA, the counselor at the VA, to today, it's night and day difference.
Right.
It's, my mind, my thoughts are more collected.
That's right.
My mind moves so quickly, and it's so dangerous because you'll assume stuff before you hear all of it, because my mind is moving. I'm on to the next paragraph in your mind.
Right.
And so I have to slow and listen. And in a classroom of silence, you're going to learn to listen better because
Okay.
you're listening for your own voice. You're listening because God will speak through you. And so that's what's important. Just listen.
Okay. Let's talk about that 7%. How does this book and the series of books prepare someone to live like the 7%?
Well, you held up the red book. Red helps you stop what's holding you back. You find out what's holding you back, and you go through the system. It will show you how to stop it. Yellow helps define what drives you, your purpose, your why. Why are you here? Whatever. And green moves you into action to inspire others. Live a life, life is meant for the living, life is about helping others. There's a saying that they used to say, he with the most toys wins. I say, they with the most toys do not win. They with the most loving relationships and connections win, because that's legacy. That's emotional maturity, where you can actually say, this is going to win me more over than having the most toys. And then the red edition helps you start your transformation by calling out limiting beliefs. We all have them. And like I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I've come up with a list of 350 limiting beliefs. It didn't take me very long because they're everywhere. And you would think the littlest things, it's like, wow, I didn't think of it that way. But using the proven dig system, where you decide what you want to become or who you want to become, identify the patterns that are holding you back, and then you generate new habits and beliefs, and then you sustain progress through action and faith, and guiding readers towards their highest self. The book is going to take you to the best version of yourself. If you're honest with yourself. And that's what I mentioned earlier. Honestly, honest self-awareness is going to get you a long way. Long answer for 3 books, but then the 4th book, the 120 seconds, that is kind of a precursor. I've wrestled with it for nearly 10 years, whether I'm going to make that public or not. The first edition of the red book, I said you can download it for free, but it's very, very private and very personal. And I've reached that point of emotional maturity where I'm like, no, people can handle this. People need to know. And I'm not bragging, complaining, or making excuses or anything. I'm just saying, hey, I'm opening myself up to my readers to let them know this is what I did. And I'm hoping to inspire others that can live a better life by doing that.
That's right, man. That's right. Good stuff, man. I got one more question for you. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. What final encouragement do you offer readers closing chapter 10?
Well, the final encouragement for chapter 10 would be you are capable of more. You were made for more. Your past doesn't define you. Your DNA doesn't define you. Your purpose does. Keep digging, keep growing, keep showing up as your truest and highest self. Like I mentioned before, Jack Canfield talks about act as if you've already achieved it. And I'll tell you what, the law of attraction, if you haven't watched I don't know what, it might be on Netflix or somewhere, you can watch the Secret. It's called The Secret. And it talks about the law of universe. A good example is how many times have you said, man, I haven't seen such and such in a while. And all of a sudden, within a day or so, you see them. You're like, wow, I was just talking about that. So keep showing up as your truest and highest self. Act as if you already made it there. You might be a hot mess in the background, but by God, you act as if, and your mind and your subconscious is going to shift on you. And remember that success leaves clues. Ask, ask, ask. There's so many people out there online offering marketing, real estate advice, whatever it might be. But they're sharing because they want to help. They want to pay back. They're not feeling fulfilled. They might be worth tens of millions of dollars, but they're not fulfilled because they're not giving back. Life gives to the giver. So, the way I look at it is, on average, it might have changed now, but you have about 78 years of life. And you don't want to live with limits, only opportunities. The glass is always half full. A young lady was in a car accident last week here in Surprise, and she wasn't hurt. She was okay, but she was really distraught. And I was visiting with her, and I said, I just want to say thank you. And it was, it brought her out of that. And she looked at me like, what? You're thanking me for being in an accident? I said, thank you, because you saved that man's life. She's like, what do you mean? I said, he was going down the off-ramp. He was going on 303 while people were coming off. And if you didn't fender bender with him, guaranteed he would have been killed. So you saved his life. And she got emotional, and she thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I'm like, there's always a positive. So, and then I think it's in chapter 10, I apologize, but I'm going to read this to you because I mentioned earlier, we've only scratched the surface on this. And here's just one paragraph from chapter 10. The why is fundamental to unlocking life's greatest treasures. When you have a well thought out, emotionally and physically charged answer behind your why, the more of life's abundance you will be rewarded, far beyond petty earthly materials, but through making a difference in the lives of millions. Dare to dream bigger, dare to question, dare to be bold. The world watched as a man walked on the moon in 1969, proving that the sky is infinite. So there are no limits beyond those we inherit or create. And that's just one paragraph with several paragraphs in here. It's not a very long read. Most people read it within 2 hours. The idea when I wrote it was you pick it up in Minneapolis. By the time you land in Denver, you're looking for book number 2. It's just taken me a lot longer to put book 2, 3, 4 together. Right. But if you don't mind, I'm going to go with some key takeaways that I want people to realize from the red edition in all-encompassing kind of a review. Red lights represent barriers. Life's red lights are the things out there to stop us: fear, doubts, limiting beliefs, excuses, and external challenges. But they're not the end of the road. They're the signal saying, hey, you need to pause, reflect, and prepare for growth. Because like Keith and I have talked about, we're building this and we have to be patient because the groundswell is coming and eventually it's going to take off. I know it is. I believe it. I believe in my viewers and followers and friends. Number 2, self-awareness is step 1. You cannot move forward until you recognize what's holding you back. Identifying those red lights with honesty is the first act of courage. You need to be honest with yourself. Barriers are internal before external. Most obstacles begin in the mind. The negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs, the lack of clarity. You don't have goals. Your goals aren't written. Your focus isn't. You haven't sat in that classroom yet. Changing your mindset changes how you see the road ahead. Like I mentioned earlier, it's like driving a car with your windshield's full of mud. You know the road's there, but you don't see where you're going. And it's scary to say 93% of society don't have, they're not happy. They're looking through that muddy windshield. Number 4, failure is a teacher, not a stop sign. Setbacks aren't meant to paralyze you. They're meant to refine you, to make you better. Each failure offers feedback. I'm trying to go off the top of my mind, that can propel you forward if you're willing to learn from it. Sit in that classroom of silence, like we mentioned earlier. If something happens, then think about it. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times at the light bulb. And you know what he said? I know 1,000 ways not to make the light bulb work. 1,000 tries. If he went to push that to 1,001, we wouldn't have lights today. It'd be different. Maybe, maybe not. Excuses will keep you stuck. As I mentioned earlier, excuses give temporary comfort, but they rob you of long-term growth. And I think you can, if you're honest with yourself as you're thinking about this stuff, take responsibility. When you take responsibility, it shifts you from being a passenger in life to the driver. You want to be driving. You don't want to give the keys to someone else and say, hey, where are we going? Because then you're chasing someone else's dreams, and people will take advantage of you. That. Another one, clarity creates confidence. When you know your why, like I read about, decisions become more focused and intentional. Like we talked about earlier tonight, clarity cuts through that hesitation and doubt. It cuts through those excuses, reasons, answers. You're not, busyness in life is gone. You're focused. Change starts with choice. The smallest decision, choosing courage over fear, discipline over comfort, can break a red light and set momentum in motion. You want, don't let a red light stop you. It's there for you to say, okay, it's time to pause. And then lastly, excellence over existence. Life isn't meant to just be survived. Moving past your red lights allows you to live with purpose, passion, excellence, and not simply existence. And there's a quote that I really like that Ralph Waldo Emerson said: "A person becomes what they think about most of the time." And so again, act as if. And again, another one, American novelist Robert Heinlein, in the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. That's that busyness of work, that busyness of life. If you keep saying yes, 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 you're going to be chasing, you're going to have a pile of to-dos. But is that getting you any closer to your purpose and what you want to do in life? So that's the big thing. And, this book delivers the tools, the system to smash those limits. I'm telling you, to live like the 7% who wake up every single day excited, purposeful, and free. So, I'd love to answer any questions you guys might have, but I also want to say thank you so much, Keith, for taking 5 weeks to review the Red Book.
Definitely. Definitely.
It's, yes, I'm the author and the writer of it, but I know it's going to help you. If you're online tonight on a Friday night, you're looking for answers like we are. And that's why we're here, to give it to you, to give that peace of mind, to teach you what the classroom of silence can do for you. So, and thank you, family, friends, and followers for hanging in there with us. So,
yeah. Hey, I appreciate you, Smiley. And, we're really pressing these books, and because these books will really help you guys. They're really going to help you guys. And a lot of people DM me a lot about questions. I know the world, we're going through a lot right now. Money's funny, rent's high, food's high, everything. And, we need all the tools in our arsenal to help us get through this and to help us just be better, to help us put a smile on our face. And these books will definitely do it. Of course, I'm a president. I believe in it. I'm part of the management team on this stuff. And hey, I got Smiley's back, and we got you guys' back. And we're gonna get these books out, and we're gonna get them out. We're gonna get them in the hands of people. Easy read. Like you said, you can get on a plane. You can get on a plane, and by the time you get out, it's 93 pages. Come on, man. It's 93 pages. It's priced beautifully. It's the price of a good Starbucks. $12 is gonna come to your door. You guys are very familiar with Amazon. Amazon, will be handling the deliveries, and the Amazon truck. But yeah. So I appreciate you, Smiley, and of course I'll be seeing you every day. We work together. We work together on this project. But he'll be back in a couple weeks, and It will be on the yellow edition, right? Yellow
Yes.
edition. Yeah, and we'll do 5 weeks on that. And we're gonna push this red edition. And like I said, when you guys do buy it, take a picture and tag me in, tag Smiley in. You see his socials, down there, and we'll be happy to post you because you supporting. You supporting, and we supporting you. It's a win. This book is a win-win situation. If you ever been in a situation where you feel like, hey, I didn't get nothing out of it, get this book. And I bet you're gonna feel fulfilled, and we're gonna feel fulfilled because you're actually purchasing it.
I'd be willing to step out as far as saying, I'll guarantee it's going to make a difference in your life. If you do it, you will. And Keith mentioned, we need to find happiness in this world and everything else. I will warn you that I have had people reach out and say, damn you, Smiley, you made me cry.
That's what I'm
Because,
talking about.
and I ended up doing some coaching with this person. It's because the guilt was so heavy in her life that it caved, that emotional dump. It was tears. It wasn't necessarily tears of joy, but it might have been tears of guilt, but it was getting it out,
That's
out,
right.
sharing it. And that's, talk about it. Like we talked, somebody asked like week 2, they said, what do you do if you're down and you're at the end of your rope and just nothing seems to be going your way? 988. There's a hotline there. Somebody will always talk to you on that line. It won't be like 911 where they'll put you on hold. I've heard horror stories of that. That's kind of embarrassing, but 988, and then also talk to somebody. Form that group of influencers, like we talked about 2 weeks ago. Because find people that are as good or like-minded like you, and it's amazing. You'll push each other for greatness, for betterment.
Right.
And that makes us better. And by buying a book, you automatically become a member of the Life Stoplights team. I mentioned that, I think, in the Green Book quite a bit. And, by buying the book, you are part of the team because it's a movement. It's not about making a buck. It's about helping people. And I know the more people that I can inspire by reading the red book, the yellow book, the green book, the better the world's going to be around us. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
That's right. That's right, Smiley, man. Hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on. And like I said, you guys see that Smiley Mcginnis 2 at Gmail. Make sure you guys send an email out. I know, sometimes, when we're going through stuff, it can get really personal where, you might not want to ask the questions on here. Hey, send them to Smiley Mcginnis 2 at Gmail, and we'll get that over to Smiley. And so he can answer your questions and stuff like that. And let's go from there. Let's go from there. If you need some counseling, we can make that happen too. Just email us or DM us. DM us. I know a lot of people are DMing now. You got Instagram. Hey, hit the DM. Hit Smiley's DM, and man, we got you. We got you covered. You see it down there, the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Hit us on any of those, and we'll get the questions to Smiley. And we are answering our questions right now. So, hey, I understand this is a sensitive, a lot of people don't like people to know their business too much. So just reach out when we get offline, and we'll get the questions to Smiley. You'd be happy to answer them, huh, Smiley?
Absolutely. Any way I can help. But I'll tell you what, it takes courage to take that first step. And trust me, it's worth it. It really is.
So I'm gonna show you guys the book. Smiley, hold up your copy. Hold up mine. Come on, family. Let's get out here. Let's get this book. It's $12. $12, man. $12. Amazon. We all trust Amazon. And right, Smiley?
Well, the FTC, I think, just fined them $2.3 billion for falsifying or making it difficult to cancel memberships and stuff. So I think he can afford it, though. But man, that's quite a fine. $2.3 billion fine.
Wow.
So,
well, I'm gonna be honest.
Still deliver.
Every package that I've ordered, it came to the door. It got to the door. Might go next door every once in a while, but usually it comes to the door. But,
it's a good way to meet your neighbors.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate you, Smiley. I'll see you soon. Thank you, guys. Hey, I'll see you guys next Friday night. The show next Friday night will be at 8 p.m. Make sure you come and see me. We'll have another guest on, and Smiley will be back in a few weeks. And but you'll definitely be seeing us on the social medias. If you look at the bottom, go ahead and follow him. Follow him on YouTube. Follow him on TikTok. Follow him on Instagram. Follow Smiley and give us a like, give us a follow, and hey, and like however you choose to get in touch with us. But we will appreciate if you could buy the book. You know, the questions that you probably need answered is right in those 93 pages or in one of those books. So, you know, give yourself a chance and make sure you go out and find the answer for yourself. And that's in the books. But you can still email us or DM us, and we'll get it all the questions to Smiley ASAP. Thank you, Smiley. Have a good evening. I appreciate you. Have a
Thank you,
great
everyone.
weekend. See you tomorrow. All right.
Bye.
Bye.